Hello, hello, hello. We are here at Singosari, and this is just me doing a demonstration of a lap of how to do it. So, obviously, here I'm in a bit of a less ideal position, but the key thing with the FES4 cars is you want to turn in early, especially now with it being a bit grippier. You want to be able to turn in early and cut grass, a bit like that. A bit like that. The more of the car that you have on the curb, the more that, or the less likely it is that you're going to be slowed down fully by grass cuts. Here, another one, you need to take the apex. So, like this corner over here, I'll show you on the second lap. This corner over here sort of sets you up for this one over here. So it's important to grass cut that previous corner, then kind of come in wide and aim for this apex. This apex over here, you want to aim for it. Now, I think one of the trickier parts, right, is this corner over here, because the entry and the exit are very complicated. But for here, what I try to do is I almost try to instead of pressing brake, I try to tap the accelerator. I'm not sure how it would be on controller, but like I'll show you how I enter in the second lap. But what I do is I try and take a tightish line, and then I come to the middle. I aim sort of for the second apex rather than the first, because sometimes when you touch, like you aim for the first one, you end up hitting this, like you end up hitting grass. And plus, at the exit of the second one, there's quite a bit of road to exploit. So, here's another corner where it can be a bit tricky to get the entry right. But for me, what it works is I turn in early so that I can reach the apex up ahead, but I try and widen my angle going into the corner. So over here, I sort of come in, like I'd go in as wide as possible, turn in, like almost counter steer into the corner, or sometimes you don't need to counter steer, and then turn in early as heck, because you kind of want to aim for here, for this next corner, because this is where it sort of flows, but you don't want to hit the apex over here because there's grass. You want to kind of be close to the apex, but you want to at least be able to accelerate out as fast as possible. And this corner's a bit tight too, so it can be a bit of a tricky one, but you kind of want to like counter steer into the corner as well. So if you're going to come from here, it would be like something like this, and then like counter steer into the corner, and then we move on. And this corner as well is very tricky. I think obviously you want to come in and take the apex over here as tight as possible, and with these cars, taking corners tight is important rather than like taking out swinging lines. But I think for a corner like this, especially in the races, you want to kind of leave a bit of space between, or like you want to kind of rather aim for here rather than aiming for, rather than aiming for the apex over here sometimes, so that you don't lose too much time, like by touching the inside grass. But here you have to, like, to be fast, you have to cut. You can take liberties here. Not too many, but you can take liberties here. Here you're completely off the curb, so that's going to end up in you slowing down completely. But here you'll still be on the curb, then you aim for here more or less, and you'll still be on the curb. As long as your tires are touching, one of your tires is touching like the curb, you're sorted. And you can just cut the corners basically. You want to end up somewhere around here, but you also don't want to go in too deep, because then you'll end up hitting grass. And for this corner, you have to kind of use it to set yourself up for like a swinging turn, and then you want to hit the apex over there. And if you hit it well enough, you'll be on the outside. You'll be here or thereabouts, or even like you'll be here just before the curb as well on the exit. Now another tricky corner is the final one. I'll see if I can take it. What I do is I sort of like start turning and then braking and then heading into the final corner. I'll try and show it on this lap that I'm about to do. But you don't want to touch the green stuff because that's grass. You also don't want to go in a bit too deep, because You want to aim for the apex here, and to do that, you've kind of got to turn in a little early, but you don't want to turn in too early because curb. So let's get a lap going quickly. Oh my goodness, I need a pit. Let me restart. I'll start from further back as well, just to give a demonstration of the lap. So let's see if I can score myself a decent lap. So I'll start from here. Tires are starting to wear already. And now basically just making sure I stay on track. And now let's get it going. Counter steering is so important, as you're going to see there. But also the exit is key. You want to exit as soon as possible. Cut the grass there. Aim for that apex. Now here I might mess this up a little bit. Yes, I do, because I went in a bit too soon. And now, oh dear, that was horrible. But you know what? We still maintain speed here. Sometimes what I'll do is that. This is not the best of laps. I forgot to grass cut because I was in a bit too deep. Now here, boom, that was perfect. I'll do another lap on top of this. Just modulate the throttle a little bit into that corner. 43.1, not the best of laps, so let's see if we can improve on that. Oh dear, that was wide, but I mean I can do that as long as I stay on the track. That's the most important part. Boom, that was lovely. And I've touched some gravel. Yeah, try to almost make sure I don't go in too wide. Here, I aim for the apex. You saw I started turning just a bit before I started like slowing down for that other corner. Final corner. There should be a 42. Yes, it is. And that is how you do Singosari.